Viminacium was a large Roman military camp and later an important urban center, one of the most significant sites in the Roman province of Upper Mesia. It was located near a strategically important position near the confluence of the river Mlava and the Danube. The Danube was not only the frontier of the Roman Empire, but also a major communication, military and trade route. Today, Viminacium is not just one archaeological site, it is an entire ancient city, and archaeologists have been uncovering it for more than a century. Visitors today can see the remains of monumental structures, especially the Roman baths and the amphitheater, parts of the legionary fortress of the famous Legio Septimia Claudia, as well as the world-renowned cemeteries of Viminacium. At the moment, archaeological research is focused on the central urban quarter, where the main Roman street has been discovered, together with a large triumphal arch. In addition to the Roman remains, Viminacium is also proud of its oldest inhabitant, the mammoth Vika, who is tens of thousands of years old. Despite numerous and highly significant discoveries, only a small percentage of the total area of ancient Viminacium has been explored thus far. Fortunately, unlike many other major Roman sites, the archaeological remains of Viminacium are not covered by a modern city. They lie beneath the fertile fields, still waiting to be discovered by archaeologists. Besides archaeological remains, visitors of Viminacium can also see Limes Park, a reconstruction of a Roman military camp that serves as a special tourist and educational center, as well as Domus Scientiarum, a reconstruction of a Roman villa that houses a scientific center with laboratories, and the newly opened Museum of Viminacium. One of the most exciting things about Viminacium is that every object, from a monumental tomb to the smallest coin, has its own story. Each discovery helps us reconstruct the world of the people who once lived here. If I had to single out some of the most remarkable finds, I would definitely talk about fresco-painted tombs. These works of art are some of the most important examples of this type of paintings in Serbia, and they also belong among the most significant examples of the 4th century Roman art. They offered insights into beliefs, attitudes towards death, and social status of the deceased. At the same time, they tell us about aesthetics, symbolism, and religious ideas of the people of Viminacium. Another very important monument is the amphitheater. This structure was initially built of wood and later partly reconstructed in stone. It reflects the public life, entertainment, and social gathering of the city's inhabitants. For almost 3 centuries, gladiatorial combats, hunting games, and public executions took part there. However, some of the most interesting stories about the amphitheater come from individual finds discovered during its excavations. For example, amongst thousands of animal bones, researchers identified the remains of a bear that took part in the spectacles. Even more remarkably, bones of an African leopard were also discovered. These bones represent a rare example of a large wildcat found in the context of a Roman amphitheater. In addition to these discoveries, Viminacium has produced many other truly extraordinary finds, from the remains of several boats to a triumphal arch discovered in the very center of the ancient city. At the same time, hundreds of thousands of smaller finds, such as pottery, coins, tools, and other everyday objects, reveal the lives of ordinary people of Viminacium. Altogether, these discoveries showed that Viminacium was not only a military and administrative center, but also a living city, a place of work, belief, entertainment, trade, death, memory, and everyday human experience. Bringing archaeological heritage closer to younger audiences is not only important, it is necessary. Younger generations often understand the value and importance of cultural monuments, but in today's fast-moving digital world, this value can easily be overlooked. Archaeological sites should not be places where visitors simply look at some ruins. If we want younger people to understand and protect cultural heritage and to develop a sense of belonging and responsibility towards it, we need to speak a language that is close to them, while still preserving scientific accuracy and seriousness. This does not mean simplifying science. It means making it more accessible. Visitors need to understand that they are looking at what they are looking at, what it once looked like, and why it matters. Today, it is clear that young people learn more easily through experience, images, games, simulations, and interactions. They are used to visual, interactive, and digital content, so archaeological sites need to adapt to these expectations in a thoughtful way. Digital tools have proven to be an excellent solution because they allow us to make the invisible visible. Through reconstructions, interactive content, and the gamification, they can transform archaeological knowledge into an engaging experience. Gamification is especially important because it introduces learning through play and participation. In that way, knowledge is not simply presented to young audiences, it is discovered by them. This is often one of the most effective ways to make heritage meaningful, memorable, and relevant to new generations. Firstly, I have to mention that in Viminacium, modern technologies are not used only for presentation. They are also invaluable in the process of archaeological excavation, documentation, analysis, and long-term protection of finds. Simultaneously, these same technologies also create a very important bridge between science and the public. They allow us to translate complex archaeological data into visual, interactive, and engaging content that visitors can understand more easily. Digital technologies have been used in the promotion of Viminacium for well over 2 decades. We also use video materials, animations, interactive presentations, and digital maps to make the story of Viminacium clearer and more attractive. These contents are also very valuable for people who cannot physically visit the site, because digital heritage can travel beyond the boundaries of the archaeological park. We have had several important projects in this field, most notably Archest, where parts of Viminacium were digitally reconstructed, creating 3D models to present buildings and artifacts in great detail and from different angles, helping visitors imagine what Viminacium looked like in antiquity. Photogrammetry proved invaluable in that regard because not only does it help us document finds and sites precisely, but it also allows visitors to explore digital versions of objects that may be too fragile, too small, or inaccessible to see in person. We are also using both AR and VR, taking this even further. A perfect example would be Project Immersium, where through the prism of immersiveness and gamification, we created a digital tour of Viminacium with the help of augmented reality, creating new ways for visitors to experience the site. More recently, through the Green Heritage project, we developed a Minecraft version of Viminacium, using a familiar digital environment to bring heritage closer to younger audiences. Finally, the DIGI Heritage Hubs is the latest effort, and I would say a perfect continuation of this line of thinking. The project represents an important step towards further expansion of Viminacium into the digital world, exploring ways of connecting archaeology, creativity, education, and new technologies in a way that can truly benefit both the visitor and the cultural heritage itself. Digitalization is often seen as a tool for promotion, but in archaeology it is also essential for protection and preservation. At Viminacium, tools such as photogrammetry, 3D modeling, digital mapping, and high-resolution documentation allows us to record archaeological finds, structures, and contexts in great detail. This is especially important because excavation is a destructive process. Once a layer is removed, it cannot be returned to its original state. Digital documentation helps us preserve that information. Digital models can also record the condition of objects and monuments at a specific moment in time. This helps conservators monitor changes, damage, and deterioration over the years. In addition, digital copies reduce the need to handle fragile original artifacts because they can be used for research, education, exhibitions, and presentation. Digital archives make archaeological data easier to store, organize, and share with researchers, professionals, students, and the public. At the same time, digital tools help visitors understand why heritage is important and fragile, which can create a stronger sense of responsibility towards its protection. So, digitalization does not replace archaeology or conservation, it supports them. It helps us document, understand, present, and preserve archaeological heritage for future generations. Collaboration with the creative industries have a very important influence on the way archaeological stories are told today. Archaeologists provide the research, the evidence, and the scientific interpretation, while creative professionals help transform that knowledge into experiences that are more accessible, engaging, and emotionally powerful. This can include design, film, animation, digital storytelling, games, virtual reality, augmented reality, and immersive installations. Today, these help us move beyond traditional presentation and allow visitors to experience the past in a more direct and memorable way. At the same time, it is important that creativity is always based on scientific accuracy. The goal is not to invent the past, but to communicate it better. Creative industries help us explain complex archaeological data through images, stories, movement, sound, and interaction. In this way, archaeological sites can reach wider audiences, especially younger generations and people who may not usually be interested in archaeology. Through good storytelling, heritage becomes more than a collection of objects or ruins. It becomes a meaningful human experience.